terror travelers. You're about to embark on a journey into horror. Our destination is unknown. This voyage has no stops. Any attempts to escape will be futile. Welcome to Podcastination Unknown. Welcome everyone to our first episode of Podcastination Unknown. Woohoo! Ow! Your journey into all things horror. Real quick, I just want you to keep your eyes on the emergency exits toward the front and the back and the side of the plane. Please, I hope you didn't pack anything that the TSA is going to confiscate. Knives, cuffs, machetes, hockey masks, what have you. Yeah. Gloves, possessed dolls. Exactly. Mm-hmm. So let's just introduce ourselves, our flight attendants, as it were. Please don't ask me for nuts. That just turns into an HR moment. Hey, everyone. My name is Brien. By day, I am a professional makeup artist, and the rest of the time, I'm a horror addict. I sound like I'm in like a HA, Horror Anonymous.
Hi, Brien.
Support!
Hi,
support!
Brien.
I need support, man.
And I'm Devin. By day, I do oil changes, unfortunately, but my real passion is music and movies and creativity, and I just love it all. So I'm just here to enjoy it.
Yes, lubricant is very important.
Yeah.
And all the way from Ireland.
Yeah, that's me. Hi, guys. My name is Elena. I am from Galway, Ireland. By day, I am a actual professional tarot reader / intuitive psychic / aspiring actress. And in every other aspect, I'm a horror fan just as you guys. Whereabouts are you guys based?
If anyone listening couldn't tell by all the uses of all the vowels that we've been using, we're from the Midwest. We're from Michigan.
Oh, you betcha.
Oh, yeah, you betcha,
It's very similar to the Canadian, no?
Yes, very. Well, we live so close to Canada, honestly. Like, the town I grew up in, you can look across the river and see Canada. Like, you could pretty much swim there. So, yeah. I was at work yesterday, and I said to one of my employees, I don't know what you're talking about. And
You do that.
he was like, a boot.
A boot. My mother does that. She lives right across from Canada. She can look out her door and see Canada. It's very Sarah Palin-esque. When I look out my front door, I can see Canada.
Did you guys watch Sabrina the Teenage Witch?
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear Aunt Hilda going, I went oot and a boot in my Ford Falcon.
Wait, the new one or the old one?
The old one.
The old one.
Yeah,
I didn't
good.
watch the new one, the Netflix one.
Yeah.
I got sucked into it, and then I just kind of fell off.
I heard it was pretty dark, actually, which I'm kind of into that.
That's good. That's very good. That's very good.
Add it to the list.
Yeah, put it on the list.
All right, cool. So we want to bring to you all things horror, maybe movie reviews, maybe our favorite characters, our experience at horror cons. We love the cons. In fact, that is exactly how we all met. Who wants to tell the story about that? That was pretty fun.
I thought it was very serendipitous how we all met, actually.
Absolutely.
And this was my perspective of it. Like, from what I remember, Elena, we were just like standing in a line or something, if I remember correctly, and you were standing behind me.
With the photo
and I think
line.
I just turned around and you were just like, hi. And that was basically, I was like, hi. And then I think from then on, like, we just kept running into each other or whatever, and we had the Vampires Ball that we hung out at together as well that night.
That was fun.
This was in Chicago, Illinois.
That was flashback weekend. We went there for my birthday, and I had to be all extra and get a suite for 4 days.
Oh, it was so nice.
Yeah, it's an ungodly amount of money. Ugh, but it was every single penny was worth it. It was so fun. I remember it. We were waiting for one of the photo ops. I don't remember which one it was, but Devin, who's also my boyfriend, by the way, was dressed as the classic Freddy Krueger with the striped sweater and whatnot. And I had a very similar outfit on. However, my sweater was done in the Pride colors, and I had bedazzled my glove with a glue gun and a bunch of rhinestones, which took weeks, which every single second was worth it. So we're standing there, and this sweet, cute. She seemed so shy when she came up. She was like, "Hi, can I get your picture taken?" And I was in awe of your outfit. Please tell everybody what you're wearing. It was pretty dope.
Okay, I was wearing specifically Heather Langenkamp's portrayal of Heather Langenkamp / Nancy Thompson from Wes Craven's New Nightmare, because that's my favorite one of the lot. So I was actually queuing up for a photo op with Heather, and I was like, okay, looking around, who else is here from the Nightmare people? And I saw these beautiful boys in the corner killing it, fierce, and I was like, okay, yeah, I have to go over and say hi. It's not like me at all to go over and talk to strangers.
Oh, I'm so glad you did. And,
Me too.
and thank you for the compliment. I'm so glad we're doing audio, not video, right now, because I have the biggest zit on my cheek. Right, the fucker has its own pulse, I'm sure. So I'm so glad that we're just doing audio. I thought her outfit, Elena's outfit, was to the T. It was fantastic.
And you had the gray like in your hair too, right? The stripe.
It was actually white face paint.
Is that what it was?
Shut up! It was the Nancy streak.
The Nancy streak.
The
I just
Nancy
got
streak.
face paint and put a sponge in my hair. It was just like, yeah.
I love it.
Maybe she's born with it.
Maybe it's white face paint.
Oh, that was a riot. And Elena is a super veteran of cons, which, I mean, she's met everybody. She's been to every con. She's gone all over the globe. I'm the con baby.
Not exactly all over the globe. More like across the pond, back across the pond,
and back across the pond.
God, I've only made it to the next state, so maybe we can work on that, hopefully. But yeah, like I was blown away when I went to my first con, which was Motor City Legacy. It's a smaller con, but it was incredible. And
it was the first year they had done that con.
yes, it was their Lack of Virgin voyage, and it was pretty cool. And there's a lot of cool people there. We can talk celebrities later, but I immediately got sucked into the whole con life. Like I'm obsessed with it now, and so I'm like kind of like a con baby. Devin's been to lots of cons.
Yeah, for the horror cons, I didn't start going until we started going together. That was Motor City Legacy was my first horror con as well, but I was going to Comic-Cons and stuff years before that. I love Comic-Con. Comic-Con's this weekend actually in Detroit.
Yes, I can't wait. He's
I'm excited
he's
for
a
that.
Marvel boy.
I'm a Marvel man, thank you.
Oh, okay then. Okay.
But
Elena,
so
what
I
was your first con?
My first con
Sorry.
actually was a Once Upon a Time convention for the show Once Upon a Time. It was over in Blackpool, and I went because I love Lana Priya, who plays Regina.
Yes.
So I got to
my
meet.
mom loves that show.
Yeah, it's so good. It's just such a feel-good thing, and you get so attached to everybody, and it's like, because I'm a huge Disney fan as well, and my friend actually brought this up recently. She talked about it, my friend Deandra. She said there's so many people in the horror community who are huge Disney fans, and I found that so interesting when she said it, because I'm like, it's so true. Like, we're perceived to be so dark and scary, but like,
Right.
we're also like,
Yeah, there's a
cuddly
huge
and nice.
crossover there. for
Yeah. However, the next convention I went to was in Sheffield, and that was like a month later, and that was just the one that I'm actually going to this weekend. And I'm a huge fan of Heather Langenkamp and all her work, so I was going over to just meet her because I love Nightmare on Elm Street, but then when I really like an actor, like I make it my mission to watch all their catalogue of stuff. And I genuinely wanted to meet her. So when I met her, it was like nothing like my first con experience, because it turns out that she actually thought I was a really nice person, and I got to hang out with her, and now I have a bit of a rapport with her, and I'm really grateful for that. So the first horror con experience was that one. It was called HorrorCon UK, and that only had about, I'd say, 4 guests at it. At that one I met Heather, then I met Sid Haig, and then I met Cassandra Peterson, who's Elvira.
So nice.
Yes.
We just recently met her too. Gosh, she was so nice.
She was at the last Motor City Comic-Con. She was very nice.
So nice.
I wish I could have got to meet Sid. That would have been cool.
Yeah, that would have been amazing. Weren't they in Just a Ton of Us together? Heather Langenkamp.
They were.
Yeah.
And
He played the janitor guy.
unfortunately, yeah, I hadn't seen all the episodes by then, by the first time I met her, because they're not available. Only in the last, I'd say, 5 months or more, this guy, Jeffrey, online, I think, he uploaded like nearly all the episodes, so I had to order mine in a bootleg DVD copy and catch up on all the stuff, because there's no DVD players anymore. So it's like it was really hard for me to actually sit down and watch them all, because there was only bits of clips on YouTube at the time. But yeah, Sid was really nice, such a gentleman. And yeah, so that first con experience was like a dream come true. You never expect to get like to talk to the person, and then never mind hang out with the person.
Right.
So
I do want to touch on that too, but I do want to make this quick sidebar. So I sense a theme with the three of us going on based on our costumes and the celebrities that we really like from the horror horror sphere. So we do. Would you say that Nightmare on Elm Street is your favorite? Is your favorite franchise? It's mine. I love it.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I don't even know how to define why it just became my favorite, but I watched all the other ones for cross-reference to see, and I just became so attached to the characters in Nightmare, because it's like you felt like you could relate to every single one of them, and it was like you got to know their backstories, whereas, no offense to any other genre, like it just felt like Michael didn't have he was so deadpan. Jason's very deadpan, and it's there's no personality, so it's like you kind of were rooting for the people in Nightmare, because I personally identified with Nancy, so
like yeah, same with me with the characters in the Nightmare franchise, specifically the women, because it was one of the first horror franchises, and again, not to like shade any of the other franchises, because they're good too and they're fun and I do enjoy them, but the women, I hate to like reduce it down to a phrase like final girl, because that almost separates them at the same time, but like heroine maybe be a better word, but the horror heroines in this franchise, they're the ones that always come through and defeat the monster and defeat Freddy or whatever obstacle they have coming toward them. And I've been around strong women all my life. When I came out, the people that stood by me were strong women, so I looked up to Nancy and Alice and all in Brooke Thies, when she's like working out and doing her thing. I mean, they fought really well against Freddy. Not all of them won, but there's always that one that always kicks ass, that always puts him in his place. I thought that was pretty good. And I remember watching Nightmare 2. What got me on my con journey was Heather Langenkamp and Mark Patton and Dee Wallace were all going to be at another con. I was so excited to meet Mark Patton. I've watched a lot of his work on TV, Anna to the Infinite Power, Welcome Back to the Five and Dime, Jimmy Dean, the Altman film. I always thought it was so cool. And when I saw him in Nightmare 2, you're different when you're younger and you're gay, and you just don't know how. So it's like when I saw Mark Patton, I'm like, I identify with this dude. But at the same time, I wanted to be more like Lisa and like another horror heroine that persevered and defeated Freddy. I wanted to like protect him and make sure he was going to be okay. So at the same time, people were always like, oh, I felt so much like the Mark Patton character. I'm like, I more felt identified with him, but I always wanted to be the protector too. So in that sense, I guess I was more like connected to Lisa in that specific sense. But I heard Mark Patton tell a story about someone had posted Freddy Krueger in a rainbow sweater, and all these people kicked off in the comments. You gotta love the internet, right? Someone's always gonna say something shitty. So they were like, how come you gays always have to have everything and co-opt everything, and why do you have to ruin Freddy Krueger for me? And Mark Patton's response was so funny. It's like, well, first of all, he's not real. Second, he's a child killer and like a child killer / molester. So if you want him in your camp, you can. So I thought it was so funny. So that's what set me on my whole journey of getting the rainbow sweater. I searched for that freaking thing so long. I had to have the perfect rainbow sweater because, Leo, we all have to be extra. And like, bedazzling my gloves and all that stuff. So I knew that when I met Mark, he would immediately recognize that and get a kick out of it. So, but because of COVID, it got canceled. So I was
that
so
2020
bummed.
or 2021?
No, that was before that. That was 2020 maybe.
2020.
I can't even remember what con it was, but I ended up not going, of course. But did get I did get my opportunity to meet him at the Motor City Legacy. And when you were talking about hanging out with all the horror stars.
Yeah, we were very spoiled on our first horror con.
Yeah,
experience.
we were definitely. I told a lot of the people that worked there that were putting it on that. I'm like, you guys spoiled us, man.
Yeah.
Because it was a smaller con, so it was more intimate. So
Yep,
we got
and
to afterwards.
We were there on the Saturday too, which is usually not the, usually the Sundays are like the days where, you have the hangout or the after parties because it's like the end of the con and everybody like has one last hoorah before everybody leaves, right? But we went on the Saturday and ended up partying until like 2 or 3 in the morning.
Yeah. Our friend Chris came with us, that poor guy. He was falling asleep at the bar. He wanted to go.
Yeah, and John Dugan from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Grandpa. He kept on giving him the business. It was hilarious. He was falling asleep on the bar, and John kept telling him, "What is it? Can't fucking hang? Get your head up off the bar."
What are you, pussy?
It was hilarious.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. He was a cool dude. I wanted to set him up with my mom, but I think he's married.
Oh yeah, that was funny too. He's like, "Oh, she's beautiful."
I showed her a picture of my mother. Like, hey, what do you think of her? Oh, she's beautiful.
He's like, "I can tell where you get your good looks."
Yeah. No wonder you look like the way you look. You're a pretty mother.
Yeah, so and so.
Yeah, so and so.
But yeah, we ended up hanging out there. And Christine Lease was there from Child's Play.
Yes.
And James Duvall was hanging out.
Yeah, he was a big ball of energy. He was crazy fun. Like,
Yeah,
he was
he was a
really
lot of fun.
Yeah. We hung out with Mark quite a bit. It was fun. I was
obviously
kind of
Mark
fanboy at first, and then I just kind of relaxed.
But yeah, they're all
Me too.
they're all super nice though. Everybody's so nice. It's like,
Yeah, everybody was so nice. We recently just went to Motor City Legacy again, their second time. Is bigger and better. They had a lot of good celebrities there. My favorite I met was, of course, from the Nightmare franchise, was Jennifer Rubin.
yeah, she was awesome.
She was so cool. She was so nice, so smart. Had the greatest sense of humor ever. It was hilarious.
Have you met Jennifer Rubin, Elena?
Actually, I have. I met her at a con in Indianapolis. I think it was a Days of the Dead one, and it was a couple of years. I think it was the next year after I first started going to cons, so it was 2017, and then I think that one might have been 2018, and then I went back to Chicago in 2019 again for another flashback. But yeah, I met Jennifer with the whole Nightmare Gang except Penelope Studrow because she was sick.
Aww.
And yeah, Jennifer is really, really nice, really down to earth, really lovely lady. And yeah, so the ones that I've been to since Just the Once Upon a Time have all been horror based, and it's the same kind of group of people. And like, I've made so many nice friends from it as well, and I can't get over it. Like, everybody just has that stigma that it's horror, that everybody must be so angry and like scary, and
Right.
I've met the nicest
Oh,
people
here's the kitty.
ever.
Oh, my kitty.
Oh, the cat's
The
here.
kitty. My cat size in her laps right now. She must be part of this. Right, Katie?
She likes horror too.
Hi, Katie.
Especially Pet Cemetery is her favorite movie.
Yeah, right, of course. Naturally.
She has a crush on Church. But I keep telling her, man, I'm like, dude, that's her horror crush. Sorry. But yeah, like to ducktail off of that, like, I met you at a con, Elena, and I am eternally grateful. It
As
was
did
cool.
I.
And I had the same kind of, and I'm gonna sound like an asshole, because I
Asshole.
asshole. But I had that same kind of like jerk stereotype. Like, when especially if I'm gonna dress up in a freaking pride sweater. I was like, I don't know how people are gonna accept that. Like, I had this like stereotype where it was big scary guys and trip pants and corn t-shirts. You know what I mean? And yeah, there are those. But they were the nicest, gentlest people ever. I met the most amazing people, and I really am ashamed of myself that I'm calling myself out, that I had that kind of like judgmental view of it. And, I'm a gay dude. Like, I shouldn't even really think that, but I met the greatest people there. We all still keep in touch. And
Yeah. Well, and when you think of it too, like, horror in general as a genre, right, is usually for the people who are like the outcasts, right, or the people who don't feel like they fit in other places, and things like that. So then once you do go to a con and you're with all these other people, these like-minded horror people, right,
Right.
it's like you're home, right? and everybody's on the same page, you know.
Right. We've all been picked on for being different in some way. It doesn't have to necessarily be gay. You could be nerdy. You could be the goth kid. Everyone. It's kind of like the internet. I mean, I didn't grow up with the internet. I'm a child of the '80s. I'm giving myself away, but it's kind of like the internet's worse because you're not in front of them and you can't call them back. You can't punch them in the face.
Yeah, the internet's a wild place. No.
It's the wild, wild west, baby. But yeah, it's like everyone's all been picked on for one reason or another, or made to feel like an outcast. Even the popular kids, quote unquote, popular kids.
Yeah, and everybody's there to just enjoy, the horror culture and everything that comes with it at the cons, you know what I mean? So it's like everybody's having a good time just enjoying each other's company.
Yeah, I had to let that go, but I overthink everything. So I needed to let that drop, especially when I met Mark.
Well, I definitely feel that it was serendipitous to meet you guys as well, because I'm so grateful to meet you both, because we get on so well, and it was just we were just drawn to each other, and like you said, that vampire party upstairs, we just kept bumping into each other, and we took our prom photos, and we had such crack.
It was so
don't worry, I'm not advertising drugs. It's such crack. It's I'm teaching you things. It's we had fun.
It's kind of like what's the gossip? What's the scoop?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the
story?
goss? What's up?
What's I'm not even gonna say what's the 411. That's gonna make me sound really fucking old.
Child of the 80s.
Yeah, that's me.
So.
But yeah, I'm super glad. That was a riot. God damn,
well, and
it
you
was
kept
so
saying,
hot.
Elena, when we were there, you kept saying because as you said in the beginning of the episode, you are the psychic of the group, and you have your tarot cards and whatnot. But you were saying how it was like the universe was bringing us together in Chicago for a reason, And you know what? Maybe there was. Maybe we're right here now for that reason.
Yeah, we're on this trip.
You never know.
So. I love it. I love every second. It's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, wasn't it? I remember how fucking hot it was at that vampire ball. It was in the saucer of the restaurant or the hotel.
It was cool though.
It was really cool. And I was wearing a mesh shirt, and it was, I know, right? Shocking at the vampire bar. But it was so hot. I had to leave for a second. I was being all dramatic about it.
You weren't wearing a mesh shirt. You were wearing a mesh shirt and some kind of kilt.
Yeah, I had my leather
kilt. Yeah.
Yeah, but I wasn't wearing any underwear underneath it, so I should have. I'm just kidding, kids. I was wearing a jock. I'm not a complete slut. But I did walk with quite a bounce. So. I hope the people that were walking behind me up the stairs didn't get any kind of a view they didn't want to see. That'd be a horror movie right there. Thank God I shaved. If anybody can't tell by now, I'm the vulgar one. I'm disgusting. Okay, so I fanboyed in front of Mark for a minute, and then I had to calm down. Who did you fangirl or fanboy in front of when you met them?
Oh, I fanboyed.
Labels.
Labels. I fangirled over everybody I think I meet for the first time, and then I calmed down. So yeah, I definitely fangirled over. I did fangirl over Lana Priya, but actually the first ever celebrity experience I ever had was back in 2015 when I went to the Bette Midler concert.
Gosh.
And I took out money from my credit union, a lot of money, and it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I was like, fuck it, I can make it back. How many times am I going to meet Bette Midler in my life? So I got to be in the fourth row of the concert, and then I got the meet and greet afterwards, and I burst out crying because I've loved that woman since I was 5 years old. Beaches is my favorite non-horror movie, and I love Hocus Pocus. So tried to sum up how to say something, and then when it's so rushed, I literally just went, I love you so much, and burst out crying. She gave me 3 hugs, and then as I was going away, when I said I was from Ireland and she wished me luck to be an actress, she was like, I'll see you on TV. Aww. I was like, oh my god, I love you so much. So yeah, that was my biggest fangirl. But then when I met Heather, I was so shy. I'd written her this really cringy fan mail and didn't expect anything back, and then a month later she wrote back to me, so I was like, okay, I'm really excited right now. She knows I exist, kind of thing, and I kind of tweeted her a couple of times coming up to the event, not thinking anything of it. So here's me being fangirly in the queue, finally going to see her. I was like, okay, hi Heather, and then she cuts me off with my really bad Heather Langenkamp impression. I know who you are. I was waiting for you. I thought you'd be up the front of my queue at like 10 o'clock in the morning. I was like, okay. I was like, you don't know who I am, Heather. You must be messing with me right now. She's like, no, I don't know who you are, Elena.
That was a really good impression, by the way. That was pretty awesome. Remember when you were, Elena, when you and I were in line to meet Heather at her table? Did we meet at the? Is that when we first saw each other, or did we see each other later at the?
No,
I
want to say we. I think we saw the photo op first.
Okay.
And then
we ran into each other so many times. It's hard to keep track.
We met so many times. That was when I was showing up at my Just the 10 of Us DVD box that I'd made to put in my DVDs.
She loved it. She loved it.
I was just behind you with your badges that you were giving to her.
Oh, yeah. My Dream Warriors buttons. Yeah. I wore those. Ken Sagos was going to be at that first con I went to. And I go, wouldn't it be cool if I... Let's see on Etsy if there's any. This is not an endorsement, but go for it. I'm not getting paid. I'm doing this for free. The Dream Warriors buttons. It had Ken Sagos, had Ira Heiden, it had Jennifer Rubin, Patricia Arquette, and Heather Langenkamp. And I gave them to her, and she was so sweet. She gave me I totally fanboyed out. I was like, talk about... and Devin told me, he's like, you keep talking about work. I work for a global... quite famous makeup brand, and worked for them for a long time. So I just kind of at some point she said she liked our lipstick, and I go, what lipstick do you wear? And she went in her purse and pulled them out. So at least I know what to bring her as a present. So that's pretty cool. So it was pretty cool.
Well, and you were talking for a while before we went there about meeting Heather. Like, you were really geeked on it.
I was very geeked on it. She's one of my favorite strong horror women. I think she's great. She used her wits. She used her smarts. She kind of was like pushed into it, because like she's said in interviews, the only thing she could save was herself. But she spent so much energy trying to save her loved ones. But she finally was like, look, and she did the whole Home Alone thing, sending the booby traps around the house. That's pretty cool. But yeah, I was very, very into it. And of course, I saw the me being of age, saw the Tanya and Nancy television movie, which was pretty awesome. That's pretty good.
Me too.
That was huge at the time. It was crazy. She looked just like her. She did such a great job.
So when did you guys first see Nightmare then?
Oh gosh, the first one? I can't remember if it was on cable or we rented it, but it was when was that? 84? I don't even want to say how old I was.
I don't think I saw the full movie until I was a little bit older, but I remember when I was younger, maybe when I was like 8 or something, I did see clips of the original Nightmare. Like, it was on in a living room, and I just happened to walk in and sit down and see parts of it. I remember certain scenes from the movie, saying like when Johnny Depp's kill scene. I remember that and all that stuff. But Nightmare's actually not my favorite franchise. I know.
Blaspheme, you filth, you pig.
Not that I don't love it. I do. It has its place, of course. But I actually didn't get into horror because of movies like you guys did. I got into horror because of video games initially. And
Cool.
which made my introduction to horror was more like Silent Hill and Resident Evil, and stuff like that.
House of the Dead.
Yeah, and then I think the first horror movie that I was like, oh, I love this movie was the original Jeepers Creepers.
Ooh, nice.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, this is my stuff, So that one, and then when I got to watch the Silent Hill movies after playing the games and stuff, I love the Silent Hill franchise. I think that's super cool. I love Jeepers Creepers. I love The Shining. Yeah.
Do you guys have Paramount Comedy was a channel that we had over here, but it was like before everything is now an actual channel. Back in the day, a channel would change into another channel after a certain point at nighttime.
Oh yeah.
So that's what happened to me. So Paramount comedy, or Nickelodeon would turn into Paramount Comedy or something, and that's where I first saw Nightmare on Elm Street 3, and that was the first one I saw of the franchise, and it was on at like late at night, and I was like, I'd say 14 properly to sit down and watch the whole thing. And then for the first one, I had a thing called daily headache syndrome, and it was like giving me migraines like every day, so I had to sleep with blackout blinds and everything. And our local DVD store was closing down. It's called HMV, and the box set was on sale, so I was like, you know what, I've never seen them all properly, I'm just gonna buy this. And when I was sick with my headaches, I just binge watched them all in the whole week and was like, why haven't I not seen this till now? And identifying with Nancy because my big hair is in this video right now. But like literally I was like, okay, I put myself into it because I don't know about you guys, but I went through a stint of mental health, and like still maintaining it, touch wood, but I really identified at that moment in time as the heroes fighting Freddy, and Freddy being like the depression or whatever bad it was. So I really didn't watch the movies for like an actual horror aspect. It was more like I could really interpret it as something deeper. And I think horror has the ability to do that when you look for the right things.
I agree. I think there's a lot of people that connect to horror that way, finding their own demons in, the demons on the screen,
Yeah, a lot of people, when I talk about horror, they talk about how great the villain is, or the monster, or whatever. Like, oh, I love Freddy. Oh, Jason's awesome. I'm like, okay, you're rooting for the killer, right? Like, so yeah, I always like my Freddy or my Jason or my creeper. My thing was like, my dad was very abusive, very, very abusive, and a lot of it was over my sexuality. So I kind of had that kind of journey with horror. And I'm like, yeah, I want to be the hero. I want to be that person that comes out on top. And, and you really got to tell yourself, it's all leading somewhere. What you're going through life it's all leading somewhere. It's all going to be okay. I was very lucky to have a really good support system. So that got me through. But I don't know, horror. What was the very, very, very first horror movie that you saw, Elena? Like,
my very, very first horror
way
movie.
back
the earliest.
Like when you were a kid.
Okay. The earliest memory I have, and I'm going to give my age away as well, but it's like the recent 90s ones would have probably come on the local TV stations or whatever when I wasn't supposed to be watching. But one memory that comes to mind is my next door neighbor kind of brought me over after playing outside. I was say 9 or 10 years old, and he was like, have you seen Scream? I was like, no, what's Scream? And then I think we got the first 10 minutes up until Drew Barrymore got put in the tree, and then his father came in the room going, what are you all watching? And then we're like, we're just watching Scream. It's like, is she allowed to watch Scream? Yeah, I'm allowed to watch Scream. I don't think she's allowed to watch Scream. Turn it off. So that was like my first memory of like something horror-y per se at an early age. I was a chicken shit as a kid. Like
what you were saying made me think of something. It's like when we were little kids, and people would talk about horror movies, and we actually got to watch one. There was something so sneaky about it. Like we were like watching Contraband, like you were doing something super naughty, which was really cool. I remember the very first horror movie I ever saw was hilarious to me. My mom, my sister, and I, when there was only like 3 or 4 stations, the local stations, they would show these really old like horror movies, like Hammer films and stuff like that. I can't remember what the movie was called, but it was so hysterical. It had Peter Cushing in it. It was like the Island of something, and there was the
Island of Dr. Moreau.
No, it was something. It was I can't remember what it was, but they had these like flat turtle-like creatures that were like created somehow, and they have these big like they had this long necks, like the Loch Ness monster coming out of this flat body.
Somebody out there knows the name of this film.
Please tell us. Please tell me. I got to go on the Jujul, the Moogly Googly machine, and check it out. But the tentacle would grab you, and it would suck out your bone marrow, and you ended up into a pile of jelly, which, of course, the effects were so bad. Like, they were laughable. But every time, like, the dialogue was so bad. Every time somebody, like, left a room or went outside or, I have to go get the blah, blah, blah. I have to go get the car started so we can get out of here. don't get too close. Like everything was, don't get too close. So it became like a joke. Like every time I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go get a pop from the fridge. Don't get too close. You know, it kind of. So that was like my introduction in horror as a really little kid, and I just thought it was funny. I can't remember the name of that movie, but the first one that scared the shit out of me was The Exorcist. But the thing that really got me was the sound design. That killed me when they're playing her, when they discover her voice it's English, but it's being spoken in reverse. Whoever did the sound design for that movie is a fucking genius. I'm telling you. We just send him a muffin basket to this person.
Adds so much to a movie, really.
Oh,
sound design.
I'm glad I kind of saw that one later. I saw that when I was about 20 years old, and I literally just sat down and was like, you know what? I've never seen The Exorcist. I have to sit down and just watch it start to finish. And I was so surprised that I didn't hide. I actually was laughing. As much as it was scary and serious matter, touch wood, because I'm obviously into all the spiritual stuff. I don't want to piss anything off.
Yeah, right.
But like basically the whole aspect of her, like her swearing all the time, I just thought that was so funny. Like I was like, okay, she's not scary, like but the effects were so cool.
They were so good. The thing that made me laugh so much in that movie was when Ellen Burstyn's on the phone. She's trying to get a hold of Reagan's dad, and the operator's giving her a hard time, and she's like, I've tried it. You've tried it 3 times. Just let it ring. I'm like, don't you tell me to be calm, God damn it. I'm like, yeah, I've been there. I've been there, lady. And that just made me laugh.
So you guys were talking about like first experiences with horror.
Yes.
I think my first experience with horror actually, and there's horror elements to this. It doesn't necessarily fall under the horror genre, although the original does. Is I saw Phantom of the Opera live, the play, in Detroit, and I was probably like 6 or something like that. I was very young, and Phantom of the Opera is a beautiful story of, beautiful music and all this stuff, but there's a lot of horror aspects to it, with Phantom and stuff, and the effects when they're doing it live on the stage in front of you is like crazy. So I think that was my first real suck in with that. I was like, wow, this is something else when you see it live theater, you know what I mean?
I did too once, yeah.
By any chance, besides the Gerard Butler version, did you see the Robert Englund version?
I've seen parts of the Robert Englund version.
I have.
You've seen it,
Oh,
yeah.
I have. I
have
actually
not
really
seen
liked
all of it.
It was pretty fun. I'm gonna have to go.
That's when
you should go revisit that, because I haven't seen it in a
Yeah.
really long time, but I do remember watching it and enjoying it a lot. Yeah.
That's when I found out he actually did like vocals for The Lion King. I was like, he did a
Robert
lot
Englund
of things
did?
that I did. Yeah, he sings for The Lion King soundtrack.
No kidding, I didn't know that.
He was really fun.
He's like backing vocals for Elton John, I think, for one of them.
Stop.
But yeah.
That's an interesting duo, Elton John and Robert Englund.
Well, let's face it. He's done everything. Robert Englund. He's done everything. He's like Renaissance man.
Yep. We got the pleasure of meeting him as well.
Yes, we met him in the photo op, and he was pretty hilarious and like, oh, let's stand like this. He kind of like.
He was super into it, super animated.
Really into it. And
He like arranged us. He's like, we're gonna look like some crazy rock band because we were all dressed as Freddy Krueger.
he was pretty cool. Poor guy. I remember that was that flashback when we met you, Elena, and I remember so many people wanted to meet him. I think they had to extend his time. But who doesn't want to meet him?
I wonder if that gets like.
sure.
I think somebody like Robert actually loves it because Robert loves to talk. And,
Oh, he definitely loves to talk. I got lucky. I've met him, I'd say 3 times now, but like by complete and utter fluke.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'm so grateful for that, because like you said, his queue is like 6 hours long, and like if you don't get to see him, they cut off the queue. But the first time I met him was at my first flashback weekend, and I'd just gone to the bar. Like I could not have orchestrated it better. I went to the bar and I turned around and he was the person sitting next to me, and there was about 50 people around him, and I was just there at the right time. I was just like, hey Robert, what's the crack? And he was just like, he just goes, oh hi, how are you, like whatever. And I was just like, I just wanted to say hi, I came from Ireland or whatever. He's like, oh, Ireland. And he's so personable. He like touches your elbows.
Yeah,
and your
right.
arm. Like he makes you feel so. He started going on a big spiel to say that his first ever performance as an actor was the Playboy of the Western world. And that's an Irish play.
Yeah, right.
And I was just like, of course it is. Like, and then he just started talking away to me or whatever. And I got a really cool video from that first time. And it goes like something like this. It's like, I'm with Elena. You're never going to see her again. I've got that bitch and I own her.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I have that video. But he says the most amazing stories. He said something like, oh, what did he say when everybody was like around him at Chicago and I was there talking to him, and then in turn after he talked to me he was there with his Chardonnay and he was sitting there and all the posse around him and he's like, I'll tell you this, guys, guess who like got her roles in Hollywood because she sleeps around. It's like, what? And then,
He's
and
like,
then
I'll tell you
the
this
last
one
time
for
I
free,
saw
guys.
yeah. And then, as luck would have it, at Chicago the last time, when I went down to the bar, I caught up with our other Nightmare alumni, Amanda Wist. She's so
Amanda
cool.
Wist was so nice.
She was nice. I didn't get to meet her very much, but when we were going to talk to her, I was getting a little hangry at the time.
Yeah.
I have a tendency to get a little hangry if I haven't eaten in a while. So, but so I was getting hungry. So Brian's like, "Oh, there's Amanda Wist. Let's go talk to her. Let's go meet her." And I was like, "I'm gonna go eat a cheeseburger instead." So
That's so nice. I got to talk to her about the movie The Id. Okay.
Yes. It's so good.
She's incredible. Like a role like that could go so goofy and like, you know what I mean? Like if the wrong actress got cast in that would have been like some like Baby Jane Hudson kind of shit, you know, like really like goofy. But I brought it up to her and she gasped. I'm like, I'm telling you, anybody listening to this, if you have not seen The Id starring Amanda Wist, you guys got to get in the fucking know because it is incredible movie.
I will jump on those coattails and say that every time I see her, I'm like you, Brian, I literally say to her and I write in comments going, I cannot talk to you without mentioning The Id, and I cannot like have you mentioned The Id without me telling you how fucking amazing you are in The Id. I've actually given her a drawing a couple of years ago of her in The Id and she loved it. So
she was incredible.
Definitely
She should be very
go
I mean,
watch
she's good
that.
anyway, but like, I'd be so proud of that if I was in that. Like, she's got to be so proud. I mean, that was just an amazing performance. I remember when I was walking around. I still was kind of shy, man. I gotta get over it. I don't know why, but I walked by with my rainbow sweater, and Brooke Thies and Toy Newkirk were next to each other, like, "Oh, come here, get over here right now." They were such a riot, and one of my favorite souvenirs from the flashback weekend last year was, in Brooke Thies' character has this line where I'm probably gonna mangle it, but it's like, you know, I had a choice. It was either Algebra or Dynasty, and Dynasty won. And Toy Newkirk and Brooke Thies had this little back and forth. So at the very last minute, I grabbed my Dynasty DVD cover out of its sleeve, and I go, I'm going to make her sign this. And she did, and she was so excited. She goes, no one's ever brought this to me. That's, like, great. And then she wrote her line, and then Toy Newkirk wrote the respondent line to it, and I just thought it was great. I framed it and have it in my house. That was, like, one of my favorite moments.
Yep.
I was so happy I got to meet...
That's so cute.
I'm so happy I got to meet most of the Nightmare on Elm Street women. Didn't get to talk to Brooke Bundy much, and we wanted to show pictures of our pets together.
Yeah, she got pulled away. She had walked up to us and was like, "I want to see pictures of your cats" or whatever, and then she got pulled away for a photo op, I think.
Yeah, they were making some kind of video for Robert Englund or something
like that.
But I got to talk to Lisa Wilcox. So nice. I had this shirt on that said fried rice on it. It looked like a Ramones t-shirt. It's from some New York clothing company, and she was very confused about my shirt.
She was like, I don't get it.
She's like, I don't get it. I'm like, dude, I'm Asian. I know you can't see me, but I'm half Asian. And I was like, oh, I love it. You're like, who doesn't like fried rice? I'm Asian. I think it's great. She goes, yeah, it's hilarious. But she's like, I just, I don't get it. She was really, really, really cool. Everyone was so nice. I miss Joanne Willette, who was in Nightmare 2. I miss meeting her. Met the...
Just the 10 of us, shout
Yes,
out.
exactly. Isn't that crazy? That's got to
That
be
they were,
another
like, all on that
serendipitous
show.
thing.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Very serendipitous. We met the Night of the Comet ladies, Catherine
yeah.
Mary Stewart and Kelly Mulroney, they were the best. We dressed up as their characters, and I had Devin dressed up as Samantha Belmont.
Yeah, they loved those outfits.
Yeah, they really liked it. I even had the gray boots, which Catherine Mary Stewart gasped at. I'm like, I gotta get the boots right. I know she likes those boots.
She was like, I loved those boots. She's like, I wore those everywhere, and I don't have them anymore. Or whatever.
I think they said that they wore
She was
out.
like, where'd you get those boots?
I'm like, they were from, I got them from some vintage shop all the way from Sweden.
Ah.
Because me being a freak, like I had to get close to the boots. And the strappy things, I had to add the strappy things on the boots.
Mm-hmm.
That's another one we got to talk about. Like, that's a whole episode in itself. Night of the Comet.
Yeah, I met her by fluke as well because I missed her at her table. I just met her in the hallway and I was just like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm going to be a bit of a fangirl and say that I really love Night of the Comet. I'm Elena from Ireland. She's like, oh, my daughter has been in Ireland. Like, all this stuff. Of course she has. And then she's like, would you like a photo? I'm like, yes,
Aww.
please. So that was so cute. Like,
Kelly Maroney, she had this big, like, happy birthday Samantha banner. Did you see that while you were there, Elena?
I did. I actually talked to her on the Sunday briefly as well. I thought that was cool.
She said that she figured out her character somehow, that her character, Samantha Belmont, was a Leo. And I'm like, well,
Of
course she is. Big hair. Love it. Like, I was like, well, it happened to be my birthday that weekend, too. And I said, oh, it's my birthday, too. And she was so cute. She sang me happy birthday. And it was so cute.
So
She couldn't have been nicer. And she offered to make a balloon animal for me, and I declined, and I think I might have hurt her feelings.
Yeah, she's like, do you want a balloon? And he goes, no.
I'm like, no, I'm good. It was, in the back of my mind, it was like, okay, well, I'm just going to be sad when it pops and it deflates. It's just going to make me so sad. But they did sign my my fake Mac 10s. They did sign my guns, which that was fun. And Kelly Maroney was like, where did you get those? I need to get one of those. I'm like, I don't know. Are they going to let you take one of those on the plane? Like, it was cool. They were really, really, really super nice.
You were talking about, like, fanboying over celebrities and stuff. I don't think... You've been with me when I met all the celebrities that we met. I don't know if I've, like, fanboyed over anybody.
No,
really.
you're so chill. I'm the crazy, squirrely one. Like,
yeah, I'm pretty laid back.
When you met Alice Cooper at
Yeah.
Motor City Comic Con, nicest guy ever.
Alice Cooper was awesome.
He was so nice, and he was just kind of like,
I have an Alice
Devin's
Cooper
so
comic
chill.
book, so I brought it to Comic-Con because when I bought the comic book, I had bought it from a Motor City Comic-Con maybe like 3 or 4 years before that, and the vendor I bought it from, he had told me like, oh yeah, if you happen to ever be lucky enough to run into Alice Cooper and get him to sign this, he's like, it would be pretty special or whatever. So Alice Cooper was announced as a guest at Motor City Comic Con maybe 3 or 4 years later, and I was like, oh shit. So I grabbed my Alice Cooper comic book. It was like the only one he's ever done, and
Cool.
yeah, I brought it there and had him sign it. So I gave it to him or whatever, and he got a kick out of that. He was flipping through it. He's like, I haven't seen one of these in a long time. I'm like, yeah. He actually told me a little story about like the making of it and stuff. He goes, there's only one. He's like, there's a lot of perks about being in a Marvel comic book. He's like, but you know what the one best thing is? I said, what? He said, you can tell the animators to give you Spider-Man's abs and they'll do it. He's like, so in this comic book, I have Spider-Man's abs. I'm like, okay.
that's awesome. I would love to talk about. I totally fanboyed out at Cassandra Peterson.
Elvira.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh, we're waiting in line.
All she had to do was look at Brien, and he was like fanboying.
And all she did, we're waiting in line. She's talking to a gentleman at her table, and she kept kind of leaning. The guy's back was to us. She kept kind of like leaning to the side, and she kept smiling at me, and I'm like, "Oh my god, did you say that? Oh my god!" And he's like, "Yeah, she keeps looking at you." See,
Yeah.
that's my Devin impersonation.
Yeah, she keeps looking at you. He says that I talk like Christian Slater, so.
Yeah, very Christian Slater, totally. And I'm like this kind of like raspy Parker Posey or something. I don't know. It's like a weird hybrid. But so then she did it again. So I winked at her, and I'm like, "Oh my god, did you say that?" And I'm like probably digging my my fingers into his arm. Like I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. So of course, me being me, we get up there and we're like, hi. And also we start talking about makeup again.
It's like your go-to with the celebrities.
I don't know what it was. Like I was like, you know how many people come in and want to be you for Halloween, and I have to do Elvira makeup on everyone. I can't do it like you're the master. I can't do it as good as you. And she goes, you want to know a secret? And I'm like, sure. So she told me what she used, which I will not divulge right now. So she told me like the lipstick color and her eyeliner and what she used. It was so cool. And then I had picked out a picture, and I think it was a girlfriend that helped me pick it out. So
I liked to meet her. I liked meeting her. She was
she was so nice.
Cool.
Great.
Elvira's girlfriend.
Yeah, she was really cool. T, I think she called
Yeah.
her T. So nice. And I had asked Elvira to write down to Brien, closets are for clothes. Because I had mentioned, like, since she had come out recently, I was like, yeah, now that you're part of the Alphabet Mafia, I'm like, yay, you know, like, whatever. Just congratulating her on that. And she goes, that's a good one. I'm like, oh, please use it, please. So, yeah, I had
you have that framed and hanging in your house
that's
as well.
also framed in my house. We should do an episode about our horror memorabilia, because I have all this, like, signed stuff, and I haven't hung it up anywhere. I don't have room on my walls or anything.
Yeah.
Because I got shit all
Oh,
over
I
the place.
regret the way that I did mine, because like mine is all in my bedroom wall right now, and I'm regretting it because some of them are like 7 years old, and the sun gets at them every day, and I'd say there's about 3 of them that have incredibly faded.
Right.
The rest of them are away, so I'll have to like have a whole new book of a scrapbook. So I'll just pick one favorite one, and then I'll leave them in a book, and then just let them all do their thing up there, because it's like I just wanted to have them on display, because I just wanted to be able to see them and like feel good when I see them, and then inside like have a book put away that in the future when they all melt off the wall.
I have mine
or something.
I have mine in a book too, because for the same exact reason. And all the all the Nightmare on Elm Street heroines are all in sequential order.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Just going to cons was just eye-opening for me. I just had so much fun, just meeting everybody and all the people that I met, including you, Elena.
Including you,
especially
Brien,
you.
Devin.
Yes, absolutely.
Especially.
Elena, we just need to like star in a horror movie that gets like a cult classic. That way we can just go to cons for the rest of our lives and just do like.
Yeah, that's a pretty good gig.
It's
That's
a great
pretty good gig.
Well,
You
Well,
could
I
be
mean,
the
I have
autographing
written a
table
few
next to my
scripts.
autographing table. We can give each other a hard time all day. I love it.
Yeah, we could send our handlers to go get wine for us all day or drinks.
yeah. Just say it like this. Say we're going to do it, or we've already done it, because then we've manifested
Yes.
it, and then it's just we know what's going to happen. So
That's
therefore,
true. You're
it's
right.
happened.
We do know. We're just waiting on it.
Yeah, we're just waiting for that opportunity.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that we did this.
Yeah, me too. And our goal, I guess, for you guys listening, is to provide you with some sort of entertainment, whether it be we watch movies that you suggest, or we hopefully will have some guests in the future to talk to. And any suggestions are completely welcome. What else do you guys think?
Yeah, if there's any obscure horror movies that you want us to review or talk about, that'd be great. Because I know we're
Baby
super
Oopsie.
Baby Oopsie. Oh God, let me tell that story. So we're at Flashback Weekend. Like, yeah, any obscure horror movies you want us to review or talk about? Because we're super tangential, so it's kind of like that's why the unknown and the podcastination unknown is in there, because we can't say that on the one subject, man. I mean, you sat with us for like an hour already. So Devin and I are at Flashback Weekend. We're looking around, looking at the vendors, looking at the cool stuff. There's a table full of DVDs, and there's some really ridiculous looking
Some
ones.
off-the-wall ones.
Yeah, one was called like Ooga Booga, starring Karen Black.
Yeah, there were some off-the-wall ones.
Which I of course I'd probably want to watch it just for shits and giggles, but I saw one called Baby Oopsie, and for some reason we like to say it in the Sean Connery
We always
voice.
say it like Sean Connery, so if you're ever wondering, like, why are they talking like Baby Oopsie?
Baby Oopsie.
That's why.
The Oscar goes to. The Oscar goes to. Baby Oopsie. But I'm like, this is ridiculous. What is that? Is this like, and I think the Roe versus Wade kind of controversy was happening. Like some states are trying, that whole thing, whatever. Ugh. Makes me crazy. And I'm like, oh, is this like a a birth control sort of a movie, or is this like a a social commentary on abortion? We were just making some dumb jokes. So we just kind of made fun of it, and then we went back to our room, and it was still kind of early. We're kind of wired from running around and meeting all the cool people. Like, let's just watch it. Fuck it, let's just watch it. And we did, and it was fantastic.
It was really
so good.
It was really good.
I was like, God damn, I feel bad about making fun of this shit because it's amazing.
Have you seen that, Elena, or no?
No, please add it to the list because I'll be the newbie.
You've made the
watching
list.
now.
Starring Libby Hicks.
Oopsie.
No, it was really, really good.
Okay.
I think that's what my main goal with the podcast is just to have fun. Like, bring horror to people, things that they want to see, just for everybody to have a good old-fashioned time.
Yeah, I
You know?
agree. I'm down.
That's what I like.
I'm down.
Don made a suggestion.
He did.
Yeah.
The famous Dono?
My friend Don, yeah.
He's famous.
He's in my band, but he found out that we were, I know, shameless plug there. But he found out that we were filming this today, and he was like, can I make a request as to what one like a film for you guys to watch and review? I said, sure. I don't know why. He's been on this kick lately. Because he never brought this up before, but he's been on this kick lately about the original Blob film.
Yes.
The Blob.
Oh,
I told him, I was like, we'll
yeah.
watch the Blob. I was like, and then we'll do the remake too. I was like, we'll do them in one episode.
Kevin Dillon and Shawnee Smith. Yes. Shawnee Smith is
Yes.
another horror heroine that I'm all about her. I think she's super cool. Don is
Yeah, same.
Don is also, I call him my boyfriend-in-law, so hey girl, hey. He's so cute. All right, so you guys want to wrap it up, or?
Yeah, let's wrap up this episode.
Yeah, we're
Give
ho-
it the old saran wrap.
Well, I'm hungry, so we're getting.
I'm hungry too. And you remember the
getting
aforementioned hanger, of course. That was why I wasn't able to talk to Amanda Wiss. So.
Hi,
Yeah,
Amanda.
hi, Amanda.
You both lost out.
I'll eat a cheeseburger before I come to your table next time.
Yeah.
No worries.
Yeah, we'll have to do a whole episode about all the people that we met, because I didn't want to be super gratuitous, but like we can't help it. Like it's like the coolest thing about it. Like
I mean, yeah, I'd like to do episodes where we can honor them
Absolutely.
and like pay tribute to them and talk about their
Yeah,
work.
for sure.
So
yeah, I still need to meet Rodney Eastman. There's a couple things I need to say to that boy.
When do you plan on coming back to the States, Elena?
when do I plan to come back to the States? That's a very good question, Devin. I would probably realistically say sometime next year because of how much I'm going to spend for going to the one next weekend, and then I have to pay off a holiday that I went on a trip with my mom about 2 weeks ago. We went to Barcelona. So
I saw photos
have
to that. That
pay
looked
off all
awesome,
those
by the way.
things. Thanks. We had a really
Yeah.
nice time. But yeah, realistically, money-wise, it depends like how it's going. And you never know, touch wood, I could get there sooner because shameless plug like you do with your band, my tarot intuitive psychic
Yes.
business is now flowing, and I've got my business
I know.
cards.
I'm so proud of you.
So-
They're so cute.
Thank you. That means the world.
Aw.
Oh, people are proud of me.
I think we've come to the end of the
Yes.
first venture into the unknown.
Yes, thank you for taking this maiden voyage with us.
So say slán. Slán
Slán.
means bye in Irish.
Slán.
Slán.
Yeah.
Slán, everybody.
Slán.
We will see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
And we love you all.
Thank you
I
for
don't know
listening.
about that.
Well, some of you.